Well, it's a rainy day. I'm trying to get some like recordings of different like audio, some rain audio for future videos. Because a lot of times I forget to use these mics and I've got no good audio to put over it. So I'll get some good sailing audio on this passage using stereo, left, right. Ooh, cool stuff. We've got some really good food here in the this kind of southern part of Italy. What did I have yesterday? It was like kind of like calzone, but it was like light and fluffy, almost like a funnel cake with like meat and cheese inside. And then this is like their sandwich thing. Oh man, that was awesome. The bread is delicious. Really good stuff. All right, we got wind. It's time to untie the lines. Sails up, right off the slip. And we're headed out, maybe to Greece. Maybe about 2 days of sailing, I think. Looks like the wind should get pretty good actually. Like 15 to 20 knots, perfect. Right now we're starting off with about 7 knots of wind. And I really like this town, Monopoly, some good food, and just the right size, not too many tourists, but actually kind of interesting to walk around still. And then there's like not too many cars too. The flag's blocking my solar panels, I gotta take it down. Wind's picking up. Time to furl the jet up a little bit. See if we can get it pointed downwind. Maybe that was a little too much. Easy to put out more in 10 minutes though. Oh, we're still doing 5 knots. So I guess that's okay. So far so good. Wind's picking up a little stronger, probably in the high 20s now. Always a little choppy, but this is a good wind direction for this boat to be sailing in this. My wind meter completely bit the dust now. It won't even connect at all. It's the Calypso wireless one, and they gave it to me for free. They're very nice people, but I just had so much trouble with this wind sensor. It was interesting though, because it had a like a solid state, like there wasn't like anything spinning inside. It just had like a slit in it where the wind would go, and when it worked, it seemed pretty accurate. And I liked it. I liked the fact that it seemed like it would be hard to break. You know, if the thing was built a little better, the electronics worked. But I had connection issues on the top of the mast, and I ended up having to move it back behind my solar panels. And but back there, it didn't get good wind. There was kind of things blocking the wind, so it wasn't always that accurate back there. But I think if I can convince them to send me one that's wired, they do make a wired one. Maybe I'll give it another try. I like the idea of it. I just would not recommend the wireless one yet until they can get one a little more reliable. But maybe the wired's the way to go. I think with the camera, that's also the case. I think I'm going wired. Get a wired camera, wired wind sensor. The app I've been using, Calypso has their own app called Anemone Tracker, which I like as the line graph. But I've also been using this TC Speeds. When the device connects, you can see Calypso, if I could find it. It would show up the wind speed kind of in the middle there, and then these are like the vectors. It's got a speed. It's got lots of stats. Looks pretty cool, I think. And then of course Navionics over here on the sail-proof tablet. Pretty rolly, but I really want to make some dinner, so I'm cutting up some Brussels sprouts, but I have to like be braced in, holding the cutting board. And then I got the stove on the floor. I really should have made actually at one point I did try to make a gimbal for that stove, but it didn't end up working out. I need to make another attempt at some point. That would make cooking a lot easier. Got some chicken and Brussels sprouts. That'd be a great dinner. It smells so good. All right, next morning, kind of rolling night. Waves have calmed down a little bit, but also the wind has just started lightening up, just making it even more uncomfortable, if that could be possible. It's like a jerky motion, but not quite as extreme at least. Everybody put the mainsail up. Ship over there. Moving along okay. I noticed my green navigation light is going in and out. Looks like it's full of water. I don't know how water always, I guess it gets in there maybe. I don't know how it gets that much water in these things. Maybe it's just condensation that builds up. I've never had a set of nav lights last more than a year. I thought I'd finally found the solution by mounting them up here on the Dodger so they wouldn't be going underwater on the front of the boat, but alas, we're still gonna replace them, but at least they'll be very easy to replace back here, so I don't have to like hang out in the front and do it. If you're going cruising, just buy like 10 of them. They're really cheap, and I wouldn't bother buying expensive ones. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I should buy expensive ones. I think I did try an expensive one once. I got a mast top light. It was like $100 tri-light, and the thing didn't work at all. And it was so annoying because I had to go up and down the mast every time I wanted to fiddle with it. So then I just said, screw it, I'm going back to my cheap ones. If you don't actually doing like long-term cruising, just get some battery ones, because think about how many times you're actually going to sail at night. The batteries will probably last you your whole like cruising career if you're just sailing, you know, on a weekend here or there, or maybe one or two trips a year where you go overnight. So I started smelling gas. I think either my jet boil, maybe that thing is ready to be replaced. or one of the, these things are rusty too, so maybe either one of these canisters or that is leaking. So I guess I'll just leave these somewhere outside until I can figure out which one it is. Oh, there's a bee in my boat. Nice bright moon tonight. Got the sails reefed down. Wind's about 16 to 17 knots. And we're going upwind at 4.5 knots. And it's been a pretty nice day of sailing. Got some work done. Little boat projects, little videos. Took a nap. Made a little food, did some exercise, and it's about 10 p.m. Got a whole lot of ships out here, so I think I'll get good sleep. Boat's on course. We've gone 145 nautical miles so far, one day, and 7 hours, and 77.8 nautical miles to go. So we'll get there tomorrow, maybe around noon. All right, day number 2. Looks like we covered some miles last night. We got maybe 35 miles to go. Let's see what it looks like out here. Not too bad. Got a little bit more choppy. Wind maybe 12 knots. For a while I got up to 15 last night, and it's supposed to pick up to like 18 or 19 as we get closer. Right now we're beating upwind, and hopefully the forecast says the wind's going to switch and let us kind of make it all the way up to our destination. But we will see if that happens. I hope it does, because I don't want to have to do tacks back and forth. I don't like how these port lights, like, they collect water here, and the seals hold out water okay, but if it sits there long enough, I mean, it will kind of get drifts in. This one. That's okay, maybe I could drill a hole or something on it. No, I can't, not really. Needs like a way to drain that. I really wish these waves would get a little smaller, because as it is now, it's not really able to pack up wind against them. Just like plow it into them. And you need to go at least 4 more miles upwind, maybe more, to be able to get around into the cove where the anchorage is. Otherwise, I'm not sure, because if we tack the other way, we're just going to go back and forth, I think, with the size of these waves. The wind's supposed to have shifted right now, allowing us to point upwind further, but I think the waves are just getting closer together, and that's kind of counteracting any more beneficial wind. The boat's really pounding pretty hard too. I don't like this motion. Keel over 40 degrees, and it's not great. But I'll get through it. reason I can't really reach that now without falling off. It's 22 knots gusting to 30 now. I guess it ended up being a little stronger than the forecast said. And I probably should reef the jib a little bit, but I'd have to turn downwind, and like we're gonna have enough trouble tacking upwind as it is. So I think I'll wait until I do my next tack and then reef the jib then. So maybe a little less than an hour, 45 minutes more of this like really hard pounding. Second wave is coming through here. They really should close those doors, but oh man, there's so much water on the floor too. Look. What? I didn't want to sail upwind in 30 knots of wind. You're gonna have to reef that sail. Oh, we're almost pointing up enough to make it. No, not really. Wishful thinking. Ugh. Now I've done 2 tacks, and it looks like we're gonna make it around the cape here. There's the first tack and the second tack. Very impressed with how much we're able to beat up against these waves and wind. And as the wind shifts, it should only make it even easier to clear this point. Gotta give credit probably to the sails. These sails have made going upwind so much easier, or more possible at least. It wasn't quite easy, but that wasn't that hard either. I'm just kind of sitting around. It's the sails in the boat that are doing the work. Just rounded the corner and we are on the home stretch here. 4 miles to go. Going for the dock over here. It's crazy how they have this like marina that's almost finished. It's just abandoned though. They never opened it because they ran out of money or there's some corruption or something. There we go. 2 days, 240 nautical miles. Pretty far. Go from Italy down to Greece. There's this Sahara dust, like the sky is literally, like, it's very weird, very orange lighting here. It just gets on everything. My boat is covered in it. I have to clean the solar panels twice a day just to keep them cranking out the amps. could do wing foiling today. Somehow both of our fender covers came off when I wasn't looking. Overnight, I guess. That sucks. So I just rented a scooter. It was only $15. I'm gonna go up to the top of the mountain and try to paraglide off it again. It's like every once in a while it gets windy, but then sometimes it's calm. I actually set up the wing foil stuff and the wind died, so then I went and ran the scooter, and then it picked up like kind of strong. It's like I can't win, but we'll do the paragliding now, and maybe if there's still wind, we'll try wing foiling later. All right, that was a long drive on a scooter. Oh man, here it is. Actually, conditions feel perfect right now. Okay, this is great. All right, conditions are looking fantastic. I think we can even have enough wind to do a nice reverse launch. Wow, just a perfect flight. I got some good thermal lift up that little hill back there. And the Apple Watch variometer was actually working good. I was able to get like a 400, 500 foot a minute climb back there. Oh, I'm getting some bumps. I'm gonna put the phone away. A perfect beach landing. This is probably the most beautiful paragliding landing I've ever landed at. It was awesome. Look at that water. I flew over by those rocks over there, and I spent like 5 or 10 minutes riding the ridge lift. I got a big thermal on the other side of that ridge. The flight was about 20 minutes, which is like perfect for me right now. I'm not like in endurance mode really. It was just perfect. Some nice little bumps to get used to thermaling, get ready for the Alps, and then just some nice easy soaring over the beach. Here's a look at our flight track on Google Earth. You can see I launched and then lost a little bit of altitude over the mountains, but then I found a big thermal and got well above launch, and then soared a little bit over the ridge, then a little more ridge lift by those rocks before a nice landing on the beach. Unfortunately, the stupid GoPro didn't, like, it's got no battery. I had it completely charged before I left. I wonder if it got turned on or something. I love this camera when it works, but they're so frustrating because they never have a charge when I want them to. Now just a 3-hour hike back to the scooter at the top. Now more paragliders are flying. I wish I stayed up. 20 minutes wasn't long enough. I changed my mind. I should have tried harder to stay in the thermals. Quarter of the way. Halfway done with my water already though. Whew. Out of shape. Gotta get back in shape for the Alps. I just ditched my backpack in some bushes back there, and because I'm gonna have to go this way on the way back on my scooter, so I might as well not have to carry this last mile. But man, this has been a long hike. Almost there though. I got this giant meal of meat as my reward. Awesome. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we sail to some really nice islands in Greece, so don't miss those. If you did like this video, there should be some other related videos that I posted on the screen if I did everything right. And if you're really getting some of the videos and want to help support my sailing and paragliding habit, there's links for like Venmo or Patreon or whatever you like in the description. I really appreciate those. But of course, no worries if you can't. I'll be posting a video again soon. I'll see you guys then.